Hi, I'm Lacy Weston. We all have something in common, challenges. We never know what the person next to us has been through or is going through in their life. That's why I wrote a story and book of my personal journey titled She Was Worth It All. Well, now that story has been brought to life with the help of filmmaker Don Hahn. Watch the episodes of Lacy Weston Shares, be inspired, and realize you're not alone. If it weren't for the steroids, I would have kept going. But the fact that they kept pushing the whole thing about the steroids, I realized this whole idea I had my entire life about being a world champion, about opening a training studio, all these different things. I realized, wow, it's probably not going to happen exactly as I thought it was going to happen. And I had to rethink, and I realized, okay, so I'm 22. What's next? You know, I have my son that I'm not seeing. You know, I've got to stop competition because of the steroids. You know, what am I going to do, right? And once I did open that first location, I decided I'm going to stop working out, period, for about 6 months, which is what I did. I lost a lot of muscle because I was disgusted, so I had to just stop. And I focused on the private training and focused on the business. At that point, I decided I wanted to write a book. And that's when I met Stephen Cannell shortly after that. And I told him the story. He said, Lacy, you know what, one day this would be a great movie. He said, but no one would ever believe it, you know? And he said, but I'll make a deal with you. He said, keep doing what you're doing, right? Get older, right? Live your life. You'll be a better storyteller. You'll be able to tell a story much better. And once you're older, we'll come back and revisit this. Well, he died, about 12 years ago? So it was at that point I decided I'm going to go and write the book. So the first book I wrote was Transform Reality, which is, you know, a book that helps people learn how to actually make a change in your life and get from one place to another. And it was when Eva died, shortly after Steve died, that I decided, okay, I need to write this book about my life. But I didn't know where to start. There was so much in my head, so I pushed it off for a while. And it was 2019, I finally decided, I just drove home from work one day, and I said, today's the day. And I got home, and I sat down, and I wrote for about 4 hours.
When you have those moments, like those epiphany moments where you go, okay, this is it, or I'm going to raise my hands and walk off the stage and train.
Right.
Tell me about those moments. Is it just intuition that
Yes, it
drives
is.
that?
It is. It's an urgency. It's interesting you asked that question. Thank you for asking, actually, because when those moments come, the best way I could describe it is a hand on my shoulder, saying, this is what you should do now, right now. And it's not like this is what you should do a year from now or 6 months. This is what you should do right now. And so I realized at that point, many people say when they write a book, it can take like years. And no, I gave myself 3 months. So I finished it in 2 months, 2 months, 2 weeks, and 2 days. And the reason why it was the 2 weeks and 2 days, that's the 2 weeks and 2 days I took off to take a break in between. Because some of the parts of the book, as you can tell, you know, when I was writing it, they're a bit emotional, so I had to step away for a little bit, right? But in those moments, like I say, you know, for example, during the pandemic, you know, I was driving home one day and I heard a rap song on the radio. And I thought it was one of the silliest songs I've ever heard in my life. I just thought the whole rap industry, the music's going to the garbage, right? So I thought I could probably do a better job. So I went home and I sat down and I started writing a song, and I actually wrote 3 or 4. And then writing maybe 30 songs in like 2 months. It's not something I do, but the whole point is it's not something that I decide, okay, I'm going to sit down because it's entertaining, I want to try this. Again, a hand on the shoulder, you can do this, right? And I believe that's God always giving me that reassurance and that assistance saying, now it's time to do this, you know?
But you'd never been a songwriter before. You'd never been an author before.
No.
You'd never been a bodybuilder
No,
before.
exactly. No.
What on earth makes you think you can do all this stuff? Is it
Faith.
Well, talk
Honestly,
about that a
faith,
little
yeah.
bit. Faith
Yeah.
in what?
Yeah.
Faith in yourself?
No,
Faith in
no.
another...
No, faith is that God's got my back because he's had my back my entire life. I mean, when I was 4, like I said, that energy that came near me when I was sitting in the chair that day when I was terrified, I was always terrified, right? But that day there was a comfort feeling, and I realized if that's God, this is what it feels like. So at that point, at that little boy's point in his life, how could I like not feel confident to move forward when I get that feeling? So when it came to bodybuilding for me to stop that day, I had that feeling. When it came to, opening more than one location for the fitness studios, I had that feeling.
I hear it.
Let's pause just for a second, and I'll email Spot just if you're cold. Yeah, please, let's take 5.
Yeah, I drink.
It's great, Lacy, really good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I wish I had met him.